Hey guys, and welcome to my Spider-Man Homecoming review. I got to see the movie on Sunday, and it was absolutely, positively phenomenal. It's an icon returning back into the fold with Marvel, and one of the things that director John Watts and Tom Holland pushed for when making this new Spider-Man was something that we have not seen before with the previous films, from Sam Raimi all the way to the Andrew Garfield version. And so what we get is a story set in high school. It's about a kid trying to deal with doing homework, asking the girl out to the homecoming dance, trying not to be late for school, keeping his head above water with schoolwork, but also trying to save New York from a new threat with this crazy villain that Michael Keaton portrays in the film as the Vulture. And the thing that I love about Tom Holland as Spider-Man and with this film is that Peter Parker is a high school sophomore, and we get to see him dealing with his big secret of being Spider-Man. So with most of your school kids being sophomores in high school, juniors, seniors, the majority of them are rushing home to do homework, whereas with Peter, instead of running off to do homework, play video games, or even having a social life by hanging out with his friends, he's spending his afternoons on what he calls the Stark internship, fighting crime as Spider-Man. The suit that Tony Stark's given him, we all are familiar with it, that it's armed with custom designed web shooters, that Mr. Stark gave him a complete overhaul with this tech suit. One thing about Tony Stark being in the film is that few things really escape him, especially not the escapades of a new superhero swinging around New York as we saw in Captain America Civil War. And so, in between taking on the major global threats as Iron Man, Tony Stark has decided to take on Peter Parker under his wing and provide him with the tech that he needs to get the job done right. And I guess what we see Tony doing in this film is that he has taken a continued interest in Peter. And as usual, he's helping him up with his game and is giving him this suit and this tech. But we find out throughout the film that whatever Tony gives, he can also take away, and he's keeping a really close eye on Peter in this movie. The big thing about my review is Michael Keaton as the Vulture. What we end up seeing in the movie is that a failed business opportunity leaves his character in desperation, and he becomes a black market power player by scavenging the advanced tech and alien weapons left behind from previous battles, like from the Battle of New York, Sokovia, etc. And assembled from these scraps and leftovers, his character has outfitted himself with a new winged device, and he hopes to continue to steal power so advanced nobody can stop him once it's attained. And the thing about Adrian Toomes that I like is that he's a very down-to-earth villain, that this really, for me, solves a lot of Marvel's villain problems that everyone's been complaining about, that he's really industrious. He's a hard-working guy who built what he can best be described as a salvage business. He went all in, and then it just completely gets stripped away. So what he's done is he's taken advantage of the destruction that's been caused in the other MCU films, and he's turned it into a profitable business. And what makes the Vulture powerful is that he creates this suit. He creates these things. He builds his armor. He builds the suit. He knows what it needs to function because he's just a man. And he doesn't have any other abilities outside of that. And that's what makes his character for me so unique, is because he doesn't have any inherent superpowers, but he has all the other things going for him that make him very, very dangerous. Now, the problems Spider-Man faces in this film seem to be on a different level than what we've seen in other MCU films. Now, the way that I'm looking at this is that we're seeing the ground level of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're getting to see what a day in the life is like for Peter Parker as a kid who's going to high school in a world where the Avengers exist, that the portal, the Battle of New York has occurred. You know, what are the repercussions of that? What is like going to a history class, sitting there knowing that you've got gods existing on Earth, and that they're affecting the history class. They can affect your physics class. what are some of the bigger repercussions overall for the day-to-day life of someone in Queens, New York. And that's what we get to see with Peter Parker. Now, one thing that I do like was director John Watts and Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal, and the team with Sony and Marvel are setting up something big that's going to pay off, because what we see in the movie is that Peter discovers this underground smuggling ring, and guys, it is just the tip of the iceberg. This is going to allow them to go and plant so many seeds for what could happen in the future. I am just giddy over it. I can't even begin to tell you. I am absolutely giddy with what this means for this franchise moving forward. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review, check out my Dormammu video right here. And until next time, guys, thank you so much, and see ya.